everybody, Charlie Vann here, back at Steam Theory Brewing Company right here in Dallas, Texas. On this episode, I sit down with local hip-hop artist Boome. Boome, thank you very much for taking time.
Me,
yeah,
Thanks
definitely. It's been always. A little bit.
It has, man. But yeah, this is a cool spot though.
It's a good layout over here. We're in Trinity Groves, and I know you've been in. How long have you been in Dallas for?
Dallas since 05 or 06, so for a long time.
This area used to be nothing out here.
Yeah,
I mean, it was just like land, and now it's booming and booming.
Got booming.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I like that. I didn't even think about that. Sometimes I just throw puns out there and not even think about it. Well, how's life been, man? I know you've been busy. You almost have a music video out every 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Talk about that.
Yeah, man, it's been just, consistency, just, creating and just throwing it out, not overthinking stuff. So that's kind of been our plan, per se, just releasing every 2 weeks, releasing a new song, releasing a new video to kind of just follow it up. But yeah, man, it's been like just not overthinking, man, creating and just throwing it out. So.
Well, first, before we go into those music videos, because I definitely want to talk about it.
For sure.
Congratulations on the 500,000 views on your single Pineapple Sunday.
Yeah.
And that was for Facebook, correct?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
I mean, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's super cool, man. I could say something cool like unexpected. It's not unexpected because that specific song I wrote in that way, you know what I mean, for it to have that kind of commercial success, per se. Not that it's all accomplished. We're still putting work in behind it. But yeah, I wrote that specifically to be, a general crossover song to, to sound the way it sounds. So, yeah, man, that's definitely been, it's definitely been expected in a sense as far as what I thought it was gonna do. But we do need it to continue to grow. But yeah, I'm super proud of it though.
Well, let's talk first about your writing approach, your process, because I think what's really intriguing about you is also the titles of your song, like Pineapple Sunday, and also Beautiful Dragon, which is awesome, Dancing in the Dark. So do you come up with the title of a song first, or is there a lyric? What pops in your head and then you start writing?
I never come up with the title first, so it's just within the writing process. So usually either halfway through, I'm like, okay, it's going to be called this. This is based off either a lyric or based off a feeling I get. And sometimes even after the song is done, I'll change the name. I'll be like, nah, it sounds like it should be this instead of this. But yeah, man, I never come up with it beforehand.
Really? Yeah. So it just happens.
Yeah, it just happens. Yeah.
Do you search around and you're like, oh, somebody already has that, or it's too many of those?
Not really, because usually I'm pretty lucky when I kind of pick. I don't think anybody will usually pick the titles that I usually pick.
I don't know that Pineapple Sunday's been something, but that's interesting.
Right, exactly. But nah, I just, it comes off the top of however the song makes me feel.
Now, what about your lyrics and that? Is this something that it's like piece by piece? Is it something like you wake up, you're like, oh, I got this song?
This is the first album that I'm not writing on, as far as like, I'm not writing. So everything is like literally I get behind the microphone and I just, piece ideas together. On my phone specifically, just throughout the day, if I get an idea, I'll put it on my voice recorder.
Yeah.
And then when I get back to the studio, I'll just kind of lay it down. But it's, I didn't write any song per se on this album as far as like putting, pen to paper or writing notes on my phone. It's literally just been like getting behind the mic and just kind of feeling the music and going from there.
Do you feel that's easier for you as an artist, or more creatively to just let it flow instead of like going with structure, lyric by lyric?
I think it's for this specific album, with a lot of it being melody driven, I think it makes more sense. Just to kind of go off of feeling and kind of going back to not overthinking and not trying to overcreate and just kind of feeling what I feel and just laying it down. But yeah, I mean, it's been working out for me. It's the first time I'm doing it this way though, but it's definitely been working out. The only thing that sucks though is when you have to go submit the lyrics to like iTunes, and then you're like, oh, now you gotta go like listen to the song and like type them down and all that stuff.
What is that process like when it's finished? You're trying to submit it. Like, how is that between? We were kind of talking off mic before between Spotify and iTunes.
Yeah, I mean, as far as like the publishers, my publishing company is TuneCore, which they're one of the bigger ones out there. So they do a good job as far as like getting it to the delivery, like at a fast delivery pace where you can kind of get it to Spotify and Apple Music, Tidal. So a lot of times, even if it's a last minute release, as long as I submit it like 5 to 6 days before, it's good to go for the release date. as far as like the financial standpoint, I think is what we were talking about earlier, right?
Yeah.
Like iTunes and Spotify and Tidal and things like that, an artist still makes more money on iTunes. Like if you buy the album specifically, so if an album is $9.99, they still get 91%. So it's $9.10. The streaming platform is definitely not super lucrative for artists per se as of right now. I know they're working on kind of upping those percentages, but I mean, it's the game we're in, so you can't complain. All you can do is just, make it work however you're going to make it work. But.
Well, Spotify, please don't suspend our We're just speaking truth.
Right.
But, actually, before we go to the music video, I want to mention, I saw on your Facebook you had a picture of a CD of your first single, and what was written on it, MySpace.
Yep.
So
MySpace.
Talk about, I guess now a blast from the past, but even not just the MySpace, a CD submission. Doesn't that kind of feel crazy that used to be the way you submitted?
Yeah.
Of course, way back, tapes and that. Yeah. And now everything's, MP3.
Digital.
And Spotify.
For sure. Yeah, man, back to the CD days. I came out in the CD days. So I remember signing my first distribution deal and having my album in stores, having my album in Best Buys, and, being able to walk in a FYE and see my album. So that was super cool. So I think, there's, although this, generation of making music, it's way more advanced, way more futuristic. It's way more convenient because you can't scratch, you can't scratch your CD up and be mad because I can't play it. But as far as there were some cool retro effects, in-store signings where you can actually sign the CD. Just having, even going back to vinyls and things like that. So just having something physically that you can hold from that artist, I think is still a super cool thing.
Do you remember the first CD or album that you bought?
Oh yeah, by far. Yeah, it was an Ashanti album. It was Ashanti's first album. That was the first one I bought, and then the second one was this rapper called Bubba Sparks. I don't know if you remember Bubba Sparks.
Bubba Sparks, yeah.
He was one of my favorite rappers. I just liked his delivery, and he was super different right off the bat. So.
Now, I know you're originally from the Atlanta area. Was there a CD or album store that you just practically lived in?
Oh, yeah. Atlanta was mainly Best Buy.
Yeah. No Sam Goody's? Was there a Sam Goody?
Oh, there was a Sam Goody.
Yeah, I used to hit Sam Goody.
Yeah, Sam Goody. Best Buy was just
many of those in anymore. Are there Sam
Goody? I don't think so.
Yeah.
There was one more. I can't remember it, but...
CD Warehouse.
Yeah, CD Warehouse.
Yeah,
CD
I don't see those anymore either. Yeah. I used to remember you go into a Sam Goody and they have the sample and you put on the headphones. You're like, I hope no one has any ear infections here. But
you can sample what you want to hear.
And that was before iTunes or any of that.
All that stuff.
And then you're like, okay, I'll buy the album.
Yeah.
I thought that was so cool.
Yeah, super cool.
We don't have those anymore.
We don't. I think they'll probably make a comeback because everything kind of circles back. But I think they'll make a comeback in very smaller, it'll be like a cool, almost like a museum thing to go to a vinyl store, CD store.
I would love that. Wouldn't that be cool? A CD vinyl. Are you a vinyl owner? Do you like vinyl?
I don't have a vinyl player, but I do have vinyls that I never open, and I just have them up.
Well, it's good. A buddy of mine told me now there's Bluetooth vinyl kind of players, so it's like you're paying homage to the past, but Bluetooth's on everything.
Right.
It is cool though. I would say with music and albums, and there's still some 8-tracks. It's not that everyone's going to get an 8-track, but that they keep that preserved.
Yeah, very true. Very true.
Let's go back to your roots in Atlanta area.
Yeah.
So you grew up in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Talk about that. What was a young Boome like?
Man, young Boome. I played sports. I played football, played basketball, hung out with friends. Music I didn't get into until maybe late teen years, as far as even starting to understand what the songwriting process and stuff like that is. But I remember us rapping on the back of the bus coming back from JV football games, battle rapping each other and that type of stuff. That was pretty much the extent of me getting involved in music back then. But I always appreciated music. Biggie's Life After Death album was one of my favorite. That was the first hip hop album I listened to from front all the way to back. And after listening to that, was the first time I was I think I want to make music. Just having the thought, just because it was so his flow pattern was so technical, and the stories he told, he painted them so good. It made you feel like you was inside of a movie scene while he was rapping. So, yeah, man.
Now, you grew up in Marietta, right?
Marietta, Georgia.
Is that that's like 20, 30 minutes outside of us?
It's like 15, 20 minutes north of Atlanta. And yeah, Marietta is almost reminds you of Varsity Blues, dude. It's a huge football town. And we actually just won the state championship this year. So
oh, nice.
Yeah, well, last year, but yeah. Shout out to the Marietta Blue Devils. But yeah, grew up in Marietta. It's a huge football town, huge sports town. Yeah, man, a lot of great people. It's the village raises the boy mentality. Mm-hmm. Everybody's like very supportive of each other. But yeah.
Have you been to, I'm sure you've heard of the Marietta Diner
out
there? Yeah.
Of course. Yeah.
What's your favorite thing to get there? Or what was it?
Marietta Diner, man. I think like they had like chicken fried steak. That was like super good.
Chicken fried steak.
Yeah. I remember when that opened.
Yeah. Wasn't it like 95, 96, something?
I don't remember the exact year.
Yeah. So that's a classic. Every place has its classic staple.
Oh yeah.
And you got to have chicken fried steak. So let's
for
hop
sure.
on a plane right now. Just go down there. You're going back to those rap battles on the bus.
Yeah.
Any of your classmates then could you have seen go down this same path of artistry?
Music, a couple. It was actually a kid named Kayene. He didn't play football. He played basketball, but he had I want to say it was a top 100 song on Billboard. Maybe like 4 or 5 years after high school with Keisha Cole. I don't know if you remember Keisha Cole. Yeah. So he was signed to Universal for a little bit. He pretty much just is like producing stuff now, like behind the scenes. But that's probably the biggest person from the town that did anything music-wise, like outside of me. But yeah.
Now, being so close to Atlanta, obviously Atlanta's a huge music mecca. How often did you escape into town to go to a show?
All the time.
All the time?
Literally,
do you remember that
time.
first big show and local show?
Yeah, first big show was T.I.
Oh, that's a good one.
It was T.I. I was a junior in high school, and me and my best friend Kayene like snuck in the show. So I think you had to be 18 to get in. I don't know how we got in. But yeah, T.I. was the first show. It was T.I. and Killer Mike from Run the Jewels. Yeah, so...
That's a good show.
Oh, it was a super good show. But before then... But what's crazy is in Marietta, you had a whole bunch of huge concerts that would come in, which is crazy because there was these two venues. One was called The Paradox, which was like a teenage club. Another one was called Phenomenon. I think you had to be 16 to get into that one, but we snuck into that one all the time. But that was the first time I saw Lil Wayne perform.
Oh, nice.
Was at the Phenomenon. I want to say he was like 14 or 15.
Wow. So kind of his earlier days.
Oh, yeah.
And right before the whole block is hot.
Yeah. Way before then. Yeah. When it was just, like the Cash Money stuff, the Hot Boy stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, man.
Wow.
So I've definitely seen like a lot of cool people perform.
When was the moment that you realized you wanted to be a rapper, be just a musician in general?
As far as a musician, so my older brother is 5 years older than me, and his best friend Jason, they bought this keyboard. They bought a Yamaha Motif 6. It was like $2,000 at the time. At this place called I think it was called Mars Planet. So it was like Guitar Center.
Oh yeah, we had one here.
Oh yeah, Mars Planet.
Yeah. I dabbled a little bit in guitar lessons there.
Right. So Mars Planet had just opened in Marietta, and it was like this whole thing because things like that really didn't exist in Marietta. So they went, and then I remember Jason like applied for a credit card, and like was just like, okay, cool. So then Jason got the keyboard, and then they were just hands-on, dude. They were super talented. They were making beats. And I was good in like literature and English class. Yeah. I always got A's in those classes. Mm-hmm. So I just started like, I could always write. And I was like, let me try writing to some of this music. So it's kind of how it started. But as far as being a performer, it wasn't until I saw that first T.I. show and I was just like, this dude's energy on stage is just like something I've never seen. And I was like, I think I want to do that.
When was your first performance locally?
Locally, Dallas-wise, I want to say it was like early 2000s, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I remember. That a club that's still here, venue?
Nah, I think it was in D-Bellum.
Yeah.
And I want to say it was a place called Tomcats.
Yeah, I think there's one I know. Yeah, because I know one like moved out of Fort Worth. Yeah. For anybody watching this in the UW area.
Yeah. But yeah, it was a place called Tomcats. I remember we like booked the show. We didn't get paid anything, of course, and like. I remember like being in the bathroom like on some just straight Eminem stuff and being like nervous as hell, and I was just like, God, do I even want to do this? Having like that moment, but yeah, that was the first show, man. And then I remember speaking the first word into the microphone and like all the nerves going out the window, and I was just like, okay.
And you were hooked.
Oh, I was like, I can do this.
Now, how did your family take that this is what you wanted to do? Was there another path you were looking at before you decided to make this a full focus?
Oh, for sure, yeah. I was in college. I went to Columbus State University for marketing. When I wanted to do it, my mom hated it at first. Yeah, she was like, what are you doing? So, at first it wasn't. My brother's a producer, so there was that support there, just creatively. But from like, parents and stuff like that, that just wasn't like the thing like to be doing. But yeah, man, I loved it right off the bat, and I just stayed persistent. And I remember after my first album, my publishing check getting mailed to my mom's house, and like her saying, hey, you got a mail from whatever distribution company was at the time. I was like, open it. And then she opened it, and she was like, it's a check. And I was like, how much is it? She was like, it's $6,000. And then I was just like, she was like, how do you make this $6,000? And me having to like explain it, I was like, yeah, it's for me making music. And then that's when she was just like, okay, I think.
But you have that marketing to help.
Exactly.
Which you do very well through your social media and Instagram and of course your videos as well. Just talk about now that journey. Okay, you get that publishing, you get that first 6,000. Yeah. What's going through your head? You're like, I think I can do something with this.
Yeah. I mean, what's going through my head is like, this is a possible, like, it's a business. Like I can make a living out of this. It's what kind of. But to be like frank, like money never motivated me like that. Maybe it should. Maybe I'd be further ahead if it did. But it's always been the art, to be honest. But I mean, that moment is like a light bulb turns on. Like, okay, I can do what I love, and I can also get paid to do what I love, and there's no better combination in the world,
Yeah, definitely. And I know when we first met years ago, you were opening for Juicy J here in Dallas. Yeah. Talk about some of those tours you've been a part of. I know Bone Thugs as well. Yeah. I mean, how did you get involved with those shows?
Yeah, man. The tours, so in 2012 or 2011, I believe, there was like this contest where you could submit and open up for Bone Thugs, and like we submitted, and then we didn't get picked. Yeah. And then I want to say it was like the second or third date of that tour, whoever they picked as the opener, it wasn't gelling. So then they hit us up, and it was just like, hey, can you guys come on this tour? And we literally had like 2 hours to make a decision and be there the next day to perform, which was like crazy. So I was just like, yeah, let's just do it. So then we did it, and then it started from there. And then, just other artists would reach out on, if they need direct support when they like hit Texas specifically or outside of Texas. So it was a no-brainer at that time.
And you've been doing this full time, correct?
Yeah,
full time.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
No, like dropping the job and boom, go.
Oh yeah, at the time for sure. Yeah. There's definitely been a lot of times where I'm just like, okay, whatever gig I got. Yeah. Like, it's not even. It's a no-brainer for me because I just know this is gonna take me where I need to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have any crazy tour stories?
Oh, there's millions, man. there's millions as far as clean ones.
Yeah, clean ones. We'll go with clean ones.
And there's been a lot of cool moments on tour, man. Most recently, I want to say it was last year, Bun B, who is half of UGK, which is like one of my favorite rappers of all freaking time. Got on stage after my set and like just shouted me out, and it was just a super cool moment to see because I've toured with a slew of big artists, and he was the first person to do that. So I thought that was super cool. And then the tour ends, and it's like a month later, and he's at the BET Awards, and he has like my hoodie on at the after party, and I'm just like, and my buddy from high school sends me a picture. He's like, Bun B has your hoodie on. I'm just like, no way. So then I go to his Instagram or whatever, and it's on there. And I just thought it was, I was like a super dope moment to see like one of my favorite artists, just have like my name on their chest. So I thought it was super dope.
Now, and of course, you're a father. You have a son. What does he think about the whole dad being hip hop artist and on the road?
Right. I mean, I think he picks and chooses.
Yeah.
There's times where he's like, you know, he wants to get in the music space in a sense, I guess. So him and his buddy actually recorded it at my house, at my studio, because they had a talent show. So they did a little rap song. So he always thinks it's that cool. He's like, Dad, put it on iTunes. I'm like, you have to put a little bit more work for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, he likes it, man. And I had a kid at a young age, so, you know, like as far as like talking about music and things like that, or artists that he mentions, there's no artist he can mention that I don't know because I'm in that space. So that's a cool connection when it comes to that.
Do you think he's going to travel down the path, or you hope that he does something completely?
I hope that he doesn't travel down the path, just because it's not the prettiest world when it comes to the business side of it. So, I mean, you know, it's a free world, so whatever he wants to do, I'm always going to support. But I hope he does something that's outside of those lines. Yeah.
Now, I know you've coached his basketball for years. I know you're not coaching now. What is Boome like? What are you like as a coach?
As a coach, dude, I don't know. It's like a mixture of like Phil Jackson and Bob Knight. You know what I'm saying?
So you're throwing chairs?
No, I'm not throwing chairs. But I'm definitely letting those refs have it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's a mixture, man. My big thing was just to be supportive for the kids and teach them the game of basketball, but also teach them, like, you know, it's not all skills, it's effort. You know, it's not all, you know, it's not how to be bigger than other guys, stronger than other guys, about wanting it more than the other guy. Just teaching, you know, those life lessons as I coach basketball was the big thing to me. And we actually got to win a championship with with a team that I coached for, since they couldn't even like dribble the basketball, and like just watching them grow and just be better. And we didn't win a championship because we was the most talented team. We won it because we were just, you know, we wanted it more than anybody else. So, but not coaching now though, man, it's the best.
Just get to sit back. I mean, do you still let the refs have it?
No, I don't. I don't even do that anymore. Yeah, I just
chill.
Yeah, I just chill. Every once in a while, sometimes he'll tell me before the game, like, "Hey, Dad, like, tell me what I need to do in the game," like, because, you know, it's an outside perspective. So, you know, I'll yell pointers here and there, but other than that, I just let him do his thing. Yeah.
Well, talk about the correlation between sports and just being an artist, that mentality, because you just mentioned about, you know, putting in that work. And that.
Yeah, man, it's like, you know, rest in peace, Kobe Bryant. Like, that's the mentality, man. It's that Mamba mentality. Like, it's die hard, dude. Like, you either want it or you don't, and what's going to separate you, I think, in any industry, whether it's sports, entertainment, is the work you put in. You know, the work you put in is going to separate you. I've seen people way more talented than me musically, or, you know, in other fields, but it's just, are you going to outwork me? I don't think you're going to outwork me. So that's my advantage. At the end of the day, you know, no matter how talented I am or not, it's that work ethic. I know, like, hey, if I really want this, I'm going to do every single thing I can to get it. So,
well, let's talk about the work, because you've been super busy. You literally put out a music video, almost like you said, every 3 weeks. Talk about that process. Where's the stories come from as far as the visual? And I hope you guys, after this podcast, go and watch your music video, because they're a lot of them visually stunning, especially Kayene. And I watched it the other night again.
Okay, there you go.
That was out in California, right?
That was.
Because I know you like to go out there a little bit.
Yeah, I love LA, man. I love Cali just overall, because it makes me feel more creative, man. I just love the vibes. But yeah, that was in Lucerne Valley, which is about 2 hours outside of LA. It's a desert out there, or a dry bed field out there, and it's where we shot that one. But yeah, man, as far as like just letting them roll out, as far as the music goes, the process has been like, for a long time I was a perfectionist and an overthinker, so we would hold projects because I'm like trying to release it the right way. I'm trying to make sure the marketing is done the right way, which, you know, there still has to be that aspect to it. But on this specific album, it's been creating, letting it go, creating, letting it go, you know? So I'm looking at every song almost like a painting. Paint it, let the people see it. Like, don't overthink it. But this is my first album doing it this way, whether it's the writing, whether it's an album of 12 songs where I'm actually just mainly singing and just there's maybe 20% rapping on this album.
Yeah.
So it's different, but I'm enjoying the process.
Now, talk about you and your good friend Kid CeeLo. He's been with you on all these video shoots. He's been documenting your journey.
Yep.
Talk about that partnership and what you guys have accomplished so far. I know a couple years ago, 2018, you went to Senegal.
Oh,
and that was beautiful, just seeing those photos.
For sure.
And talk about that experience as well.
Yeah, man. With me and CeeLo, man, it's a great partnership because it's he does 99.9% of my visuals. And on the editing side, we both kind of tap in on the editing. So I'll edit some, he'll edit some, and we'll just kind of, creatively just bounce ideas back and forth. The visuals, man, I've always taken super seriously just because the visual is the commercial to that song. Like, you want people to listen to that song, you got to show them something. So we've always taken like a film aspect when it comes to making music videos because truthfully, I hate making music videos.
Really?
Hate it. Yeah. So
I will say the Monsterita. And by the way, thank you for letting me be a part of that.
That was awesome.
Part of that.
Yeah. That was awesome. I appreciate you doing it. But even that's why we had the dialogue, the skit at the beginning, because I always want to add like some film element to it because I've always had a huge love of like making movies, but to me, music videos is just like I don't want to sit there and just watch a person like sing for 4 minutes.
No, that's true.
Without having anything like visually just like creative, attached to it. But the trip to Senegal was super dope, man. We got to shoot a video out there, which I don't think we could have shot here just because the stuff we were doing could have got us arrested. Yeah. But yeah, we got to like.
It was so beautiful.
It was amazing. It was amazing. But yeah, we got to shoot that out there. There's crazy scenes in there. There's like horse riding scenes with the aerial view. We're like on the freeway with a black Mercedes Benz. I'm like out the rooftop. If you could shoot a dream video in another country, that's what it would be, and that's what it was for me. And the dude that let us use the property where we shot the horses, he actually just passed away yesterday.
Oh, man.
So which was, a little kind of heartbreaking, but that visual is out there so that like that story lives on, you know what I mean?
Were they pretty receptive to you out there as far as doing all this?
Oh, yeah, for sure. We almost got arrested one time.
I think there's always some kind of story like that.
For sure.
You're not living the life.
Yeah, exactly.
Living on the edge a little bit. Right. Especially creatively.
Right. Yeah, there's a huge statue out there, a Renaissance statue. So it's almost reminds you of like the Statue of Liberty. Yeah. It's just as big, right? So, and we shot the drone around it, right? It's a note. That's a note.
That's
like
absolutely,
trying to do it here.
Yeah.
So that part we almost got a little tricky, but at the end of the day, they understood like what we were trying to do, outline like the beauty of the country. So, they let us slide.
Next time you have the drone, it's okay. We're filming Transformers 20.
Everything is fine.
Yeah. We got Michael Bay in
the everything is fine. Yeah. For sure.
Well, now coming back here, I mean, you have the album that. Can you say the release date? Or you keep it kind of hidden.
Man, we've moved it so many times, dude. So we're hoping. I still may put it out this month. I don't know. I'm just kind of going off a feeling right now. It's just we're trying to, book the tour and get it, just add dates up and get it kind of done the proper way. And part of that is just me trying to be too perfect of like, on the execution piece of it. But I may just wake up tomorrow and be like,
surprise.
F it, it comes out next week. Like, you know what I mean?
Hey, some artists do that,
Yeah,
though.
they do.
Some are like, what? There's a new... I mean, even I think with one of Eminem's recent
albums.
Yeah,
the one he just dropped.
It's just like, there's a new album. I mean, but that's cool. That's surprise, and it keeps people going. And you stay very, very busy. Going back to this tour, any dates yet that you can announce or that you're looking at? Is it going to be more late spring, summer?
Yeah, we're thinking more spring. Spring is what we're pushing for. It may spill over to summer, but definitely spring. So I've kind of turned down a tour with a bigger artist just because I want to do this tour on my own. It's more challenging doing it on your own, but it's just time for me to kind of
fly.
Yeah, it's time for me to break away. I've been touring with these big artists for a long time, and it's time for me just to take that leap and it's definitely gonna be a dynamic switch because I've been playing these super huge venues in front of 4,000 or 5,000 people.
Yeah.
But truthfully, that's not my fan base. Like, you know what I mean? A portion of that it is, but I want to go play, the songs that I want to go play for the people I want to go play them for. So we're gonna do smaller venues, of course, smaller cap, 200-300.
A little more intimate.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I mean, it's gonna be a change for me, and that's actually what we're working on is that set list, just because it's totally different.
Now you perform. I know you perform a lot out west in California. Talk about the vibe out there compared to playing here, or maybe even Atlanta.
Yeah, man. Out west, Cali specific, like Santa Cruz, San Diego, even LA, is just the vibe just meshes better per like the music I make specifically. So it's when I'm touring anywhere else, I've been doing it so long, I know like, okay, song 1, I'm gonna get them by song 3. Like I know each city, I know like how the crowd is in each city, so I even know like I'll switch the set list up depending on where we're going. But LA, it doesn't matter what set list, like what how I have it arranged, or Santa Cruz or San Diego. It's just like right off the back, I always got them right off the back.
Talk about now the Dallas hip hop scene. Is there much of a scene? Of course, when we were at high school, I remember Mr. Pookie, Mr.
Lucci,
and then of course, later on, Dero's been rising as well. But I mean, what do you think about it now? Is there much?
I mean, right now, the biggest artist, of course, is Yellow Beezy.
Yeah.
Out of Dallas, super proud of what he's doing, just kind of shining a light on the city. Dallas, and this has been a problem for a long time, is they kind of just don't get behind that music locally. So it's really, in a sense, the bigger stations and things like that are playing what everybody else is playing. When, you got cities like Atlanta or Miami, they'll get behind those local artists and, kind of upstream them to be big artists. So I think that personality needs to kind of, be more supportive towards the local scene in Dallas. But I think it's getting there. But a lot of these artists are having to go prove themselves somewhere else. Then, Dallas media gets behind them. But I think it definitely has room for improvement.
Well, and, you look at Deep Ellum, and for those that tune in, they're like, what's Deep Ellum? It's like the 6th Street here from Austin.
Yeah, it is.
And for the longest time, it's had a roller coaster of image from rock to kind of hip-hop club.
Right.
And now it's more into back the nightlife.
Yeah,
I kind of compare it. I could be wrong. It's sort of like a little Miami a little bit. It's more the restaurant side. What do you feel like the future of that for artists like yourself? Because, I saw you once at the Door, which is no longer there, which is a staple for a lot of local artists. Current Club, which was mainly rock, but that just closed last summer. So what do you think the future of music's place is here in the Dallas area, especially downtown?
For sure. Shout out to both of those venues. I've played both of those too. I think it's going to get better. It's getting... they're kind of upstreaming it to be, I guess, more classy per se.
Yeah.
Or trying to. But I think for local artists here in Dallas, I think it still needs to be more venue support.
Yeah.
Because every city has like that personality, right? So we were talking about Nashville earlier, right? No one's confused about
Nashville.
You know what I mean? Like what that is, what you're gonna get when you get there. I think Dallas definitely has opportunities, or even Houston. You're not confused of what, Houston's known for, chopped and screwed and things like that. No one's confused about that. But when people think of Dallas musically, there's just like a big question mark. Like, you know what I mean? I think, that question mark needs to get filled.
Yeah, because, I think as far as the artists that we've known that have been bigger come out, that are still kind of more indie, like the Toadies, obviously Erykah Badu's had been on the Grammy, but that's kind of like a handful.
A handful, for sure, yeah.
And then when you come here, it's like, okay, are we more kind of nightlife, restaurant, know? Or do we have kind of artists like now? I will say like Fort Worth is starting to build that a little bit more, but as far as Dallas, which more people seem to come to, especially for a lot of their shows, it's kind of like still a little bit of a question mark. But it may go back once again about education, about what is
the
here,
whole nine,
compared to just the big names. Which it's great that Bomb Factory's reopened and
all that
the big
stuff,
show, but for a local artist that really wants to get their name out there, it's been
and it's the other thing is and this is not just Dallas. It's a big portion of Dallas, but this kind of flows outside of Dallas as well. Is I just wish things go back to where your talent makes you float versus all the other things that don't matter.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? So I think and I see this in Dallas. I see this in some other cities, but it's, you know, relationships based. So a lot of people are either stopping some artists from growing just based off, you know, they don't know that person or they want to see this person grow instead. Well, I think if you know, if the people that have bigger platforms kind of sit back and let the talent speak, I think this city will grow a lot faster because, you know, it'll be better musicians coming, better artists coming, better entertainers coming. And I think that'll bring, you know, a personality to the city faster than, you know, just kind of like relationship building and putting artists that don't belong to be, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Well, we're now in 2020.
Yeah.
You got your album maybe come out in the next 5 hours.
Maybe.
You got the tour you're planning.
Right.
What else? What's other goals that you have set for this year?
Yeah, man. This year I have a lot. I have a lot in mind. So the Beautiful Dragon album, which is hopefully this month, maybe next month, we don't know. And then I have another album after that, which is actually already done. It's called Marciano, which is back to like a rap album.
Marciano?
Yeah.
Any influence from Rocky Marciano?
No. and yes.
I mean, maybe it'll be a knockout.
Exactly.
There you go. Got the pun going.
Exactly.
There you go.
But no, Marciano means Martian in Spanish.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's kind of the play of words there.
Wow.
Marciano, of course, Rocky Marciano.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Beautiful Dragon and Marciano is going to follow up. I want to tour on both of those separately.
Okay.
And we're going to release our first like short film.
Nice.
Not our first short film because we did the Pink Magnolia one. But
yeah, that was really good. I was going to mention that too.
Yeah,
that was
our
very
first
beautiful.
2020 short film.
Okay.
Which is super cool, man. It's gonna be different. It's based off of a bagel shop that I worked at when I was in high school.
Oh wow!
Yeah, me and my best friend. So
I'm sure you had stories at the bagel shop.
Oh yeah, we have a lot of stories at the bagel shop. So it's based off that.
Do you even eat bagels anymore after working at a bagel shop?
Yeah, every once in a while. Yeah, I worked at Einstein Brothers Bagels in
high
school.
Yeah. Actually, I like their bagels.
Yeah.
I think I could coffee.
Yeah. So it's based off like all the funny stories, and it's based off like a summer. So this is my first year of college. My best friend comes home with me, right? So his mom's like, no, don't come back home. He lives he lives in Valdosta, which is right outside the Florida-Georgia line. So he comes home with me to Atlanta for the summer. So I go back and get my job from high school, right? And I get him a job there too.
Yeah.
And we have the craziest summer. So it's based off that.
That sounds like a movie.
Oh, yeah.
It's like Clerks, kind of.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Did you do any writing there, like while you're on? Do you ever like just kind of space off and they're like,
yeah, for
I need
sure.
that bagel? And you're like,
For
sitting
sure.
there, here's the song.
Yeah,
you know.
for sure. So we have a lot of good stories for that summer, but it's going to be centralized around, you know, the bagel shop.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Are you a cream cheese guy?
Not really.
No,
I was
really
back then, but
I
not
can't really get into that.
Not
I just
anymore.
Plain, you know, I'll put a little butter if I'm feeling of interest.
Right.
Honey.
Yeah.
There you go. And we want to thank you for helping out with the song with our short film, Super
Oh,
Server,
yeah,
which
for sure.
hopefully getting some festivals here. So
I'm excited,
Mozzarella.
man. I'm excited. Yeah, I think that'll be super dope. Super funny.
Are you looking at possibly, you know, you mentioned T.I. earlier, who's been in some acting. Is that something you would also like to dabble in more of? I mean, I know you do a lot in your music videos, of course.
For sure, man. I definitely just want to get everything, like every experience that I can get, entertainment-wise. So yeah, acting, I've definitely dabbled in, you know, for a while, but as far as, even that's another goal for 2020 is taking it more seriously, jumping into acting classes and things like that. But yeah.
Have you been approached for other like indie films or that for some of your singles or tracks?
No, I mean we've done like I did a movie in LA maybe like 2.5, 3 years ago, which still hasn't came out, but it's called American King. Had Akon in it as the main actor. So I don't know if that's gonna come out or not. You know how that goes.
Yeah, it takes a while.
Yeah. But yeah, as far as you know, on our end, we're trying to, you know, self-produce everything so we can control the narrative, and but the production company is called Team Skywalker Films.
Okay.
So that's a big goal of 2020. Get our first, official short film out, and have some debuts in some smaller theaters and things like that.
Well, I know you're a Star Wars fan.
Oh, for sure.
Mandalorian?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
I mean, what do you think about that? I mean, what a beautifully shot, well done. Every episode's like a mini movie.
Yeah, for sure. I haven't got around to it, dude, which is
well,
crazy.
Oh, you got to.
Yeah, I haven't got around to it.
Have you seen the new latest Star Wars?
I have
you
not,
got it.
Dude.
I
Yeah,
think it wraps
busy,
up.
man.
Yeah, I know. You've been really busy,
yeah.
but it's. I mean, that both of those. Especially Mandalorian's well done. Wouldn't it be cool for Boome to have like a song somewhere?
Super cool, man.
Some kind of.
It'd be the coolest.
You need to have Baby Yoda in one of your music
videos. We could definitely make
cruising
that
out
happen.
in California, just have it.
Right.
Just
Baby
have
Yoda
your
just
car,
chilling,
your component out there.
Yeah.
There you go.
For sure.
I think million.
Yeah, man. I definitely think 2020 is looking good. It is just based off, planning it the right way and just kind of putting that work in. But I'm optimistic for everything that's coming, and I'm just going to keep working hard.
Well, Boome, I want to thank you for your time. It's always a pleasure.
Sure,
Keep
man.
up the great work, and big things. It sounds like for you for 2020, and maybe jump in another music video if you need another dancing therapist or something over there.
You.
Guy in the bagel shop,
Right, the whole
the coffee.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah,
there you
for
go.
Sure.